All right, so we kind of got sidetracked, but I want to circle back to Canibus, right? Canibus kind of has this reputation for being weird. When you first met him,
Sure.
what was your impression of him outside of his clothing?
I was like, this is fucking Canibus. This is in the late 90s, you know, when I met him, it was like I said, like 2006, 2007. Like, I still remember Canibus hyped up to be the next fucking greatest thing in hip hop.
Right.
I was like, you know, Canibus and Priest are responsible for molding my career. Wu-Tang indie culture was so successful, everyone wanted to work with the A&R that helped make that record.
So then the relationship started to build over the years because what year did you meet him?
Wait, you want to hear the funniest story ever? I met him in 07. Canibus and Razcast went on a double date one time. All right? A double date with two chicks, obviously. And Razcast had set it up. So Raz already knew the girl he was going out with, but Canibus didn't know the other girl. It was like a blind date. At the end of the date, the girl asked Canibus for his phone number. Canibus gets a napkin and a pen and writes his number out. But not how any normal motherfucker in the world would write their phone number. He's like 2, TWO, 3, THREE, 5, FIBE. And I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And gave it to the girl. And of course, the girl never called because she's like, what the fuck is this?
Wow.
The funniest thing ever.
Okay, so then the whole situation between Dizaster and Canibus, right? You're the one that was responsible for putting that together?
Yes, and it's all because I slept on a couch one night after a party instead of driving back to my hotel room. Had it not been for me liking to drink and party and whatnot, that battle would have never happened. I passed out at Dr. Zodiac's house in Montebello, which is funny. That's where I just got the Rolls Royce. There was a Wu-Tang Clan concert in Anaheim, and we had an after party at his house. I woke up the next morning to get in the shower and go back to the hotel. And he lived with this guy named Christian 818. And Christian's like, aren't you like the guy who works for Canibus? And he's like, dude, I do this battle shit with Lush One. Lush also hated me for a long time before he realized that I'm the fucking shit. All these other white dudes, I'm their fucking god. Because I've actually worked. My resume can't be fucking paralleled by any of them. So, like, they all hate me to begin with. Then when they realize, like, MA's a cool guy, like, whatever. Let's be friends. Okay, buddy. You should talk to me for a decade, but sure, you can be my friend. We're never going to hang out. He's like, my partner, Lush One, and I have this battle company. It was called, like, Fresh Coast. We're going to work with King of the Dot. We've always wanted Canibus to battle. And they never mentioned Dizaster at this point in time. And I said, we get offers for Canibus to battle monthly. No one's ever talking about the right money. They're like, how much money? I'm like, I don't know, like maybe $100,000. They're like, that's crazy. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just know that the offers we got aren't it. So come up with an offer and send it through. And again, this is all in the book, but we agreed to like 50 G's and X amount of fucking points and yada, 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 yada. And they're supposed to pay a signing, like we sign, they pay X amount of money, then they pay each month leading up to the battle. So when we go to the battle, we're only supposed to be owed like, 5 or 10 grand. They default after the first payment. And it's like, okay, like, thank you for your 10 grand or 12 grand or whatever you sent us. Like, this is a dead issue now. Then that's when we learned that it's a battle against Dizaster. They dropped some promo video. And Dizaster's like, it's my money and I borrowed it from these fucking drug dealers and they're going to kill me and yada, yada. He like appealed to my sensibilities. Like, this guy I don't know telling me his life's in danger. Like, all right, cool. But, well, let's redo the contract. They're like, King of the Dot's not going to pay it now. It's us, which was also a lie. King of the Dot was paying the whole fucking time. So we agreed to like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 G's all in. So no back end points, no whatever. Now it's a 1-day event instead of 2. And Canibus was on tour in Canada, like a rap tour, and said weird shit was happening to him every night, like unexplainable weird shit. So he left the tour trying to cross the border back into America and got arrested for like a weapon or something, like a Swiss Army knife, something dumb. They put him in jail, and he got the shit kicked out of him in jail. All right. Hence the fucking like shit in his head and the splint on his arm. So people thought that was like a fucking ruse. No, that happened. Like he needed it. When he got out of jail, and he was facing deportation. Remember, he's Jamaican. He's not American, but he had American citizenship because he was in the army. He's like, "Can I cancel the battle?" I said, "Do you have the money? If you give them back the money, I assume it'd be no harm, no foul." He said, "I spent every fucking dollar." I said, "No, then you can't. Like, that's just shady as fuck. You know, you take a job on, you don't want to do it, you pay the person back." I've signed record deals for artists with companies that ultimately change their mind. Like, hey, I think I want to hold out for a better situation. Okay, give them their money back. Cool, no harm, no foul. Move on to the next guy. Canibus already ran through the money. Why? Because he had these legal fees. His legal fees were fucking insane, probably like 50 to 100 G's. I've spent 60 grand alone on my Fat Beats lawsuit I'm going to court in May, trying to recover like 30 grand. But thank God, because of my contract, I get the legal fee money back too, but not a lot of people do. He does the battle, and I mean, Dizaster is just fucking wiping the floor with him. No doubt about it. But in the contract, he had to do the 3 rounds to get the balance of money. So he knew he already lost. To make sure I don't violate the contract, let me just break out this fucking notepad. That's that. That's what that was. And then there's a whole chapter in the book about that. That's different from the actual book I wrote. But you know, like they took forever to get us that last 5 grand worth of money, and I never did business with the King of the Dot people again because they just associated me to cannabis, and you know that was that. There was never any business to be had anyway.
What was your reaction when he pulled out the notebook?
My phone was blowing up. The people from King of the Dot that were in Canada that could not get into America were blowing me up. Like, go to the office now. Like, they were furious. Otherwise, if you watch the battle on YouTube, you don't see me on the camera at all until he pulls the notepad out. Then it like zooms up, like all panoramic, and you see me standing behind Canibus like this, like I'm just as shocked as y'all motherfuckers. But we laughed about it afterwards. We went to fucking Mel's Diner with Supernat and da-da-da. You know, I could tell all Canibus's friends and whatever were embarrassed like a motherfucker. Like, I'm embarrassed too, dude. This is insane. Like, we all walked in there with you thinking you were going to mop this fucking guy. You're Canibus. But all that fucking I'm the lyrical, miracle, jerical, venereal doesn't necessarily translate into the battle arena, bro. You can make good songs. Now, on the other side of the token, not a lot of battle rappers can make good songs. That's why I love Low Deluxe. I like his fucking music far more than just listening to a battle.
So
that was it. Like, Canibus just thought it was a fucking joke. Like, he did what he did because he was fucking couldn't give the money back. He knew there was more money to pick up, and that's it. And like, Canibus is an anomaly where like his loyal fans think he can do no wrong in the world. Like, he fucking lost the battle. He's stolen. He fucking represented. He was like making his final album and took $40,000 in pre-orders, and then never made the album. And the fans were like, "Oh, well, at least he's going to keep making more music, so I guess you really need our money." Like, yo, he just robbed you, you dumbasses. He took 4 record deals with advances from companies.
Right, and we're going to get into that part. We're going to get into that part. But I want to...
Canibus is horrible. He's a piece of shit. But it's so unfortunate that he is a piece of shit, because I always believed when I was working with Canibus that I could make him as big, if not bigger, than what he was. But like it goes with my work, I can't be the only one fighting for you. You have to fight for you.
Right.
That's that. So he was unwilling to, because he didn't want to be Canibus, the next big thing again. He just wanted to fucking get by. And I'm not a get by guy. I'm a guy that buys Rolls Royces and fucking custom Rolexes and flexes my fucking awesomeness upon the world. So I want you to absorb some of my greatness so you can be greater than you've ever been.
Do you think that if he did not get arrested and beat up in prison or jail, that things would have been different?
Yes. Yes, because he was fucking prepping for that battle daily. He would call me and be like, "Listen to what I just wrote." It was mad shit that he didn't get to.
Wow.
Like, this motherfucker legit wrote 30 some fucking pages of rhymes for essentially like a 9-minute battle. You know what? Like, he was loving it, dude. And I tell you what, it wasn't just a jail thing. He fell out of love with it when they breached the contract the first time. It's like, fuck these fucking people. I mean, who the fuck do you have me dealing with that can't come up with 10 grand? Like, they were supposed to pay 10 grand a month. Like, I'm responsible for 7 figures of money every month. Could you imagine me? Oh, sorry, man, I don't have your 10 grand. Come on.
How detrimental do you think that the loss was to his career?
There's like that's the thing. None of his fans care. None of his fans even like it's blasphemous to speak about it. Some of his fans think he won. That's how delusional they are. It's like the asterisk. It's like Canibus was the shit beforehand, and then gradually blah blah blah, and then he bounced him back to being the shit again, and then of course he did more. Canibus has always been his own worst enemy. Like there's no it's no like coincidence that like Eminem grew up admiring you and you fucked that off, and Wyclef took you on and you fucked that off, and I helped you make some of the best music of your life and you fucked that off. Like it's not us, bro. It's you. You know, it's one of those things where people never realize they're the problem in the relationship or whatever it is, or the work or whatever. So, you know, whatever. I was able to help Canibus pay off all his debts, and I didn't even get a thank you. And now he's a free agent and can release music whenever he wants, and he hasn't released a fucking thing. It's like, what did I do all this work for?